See Brown in your face.
Have you heard of Everything at Once?
Do you know about Everything at Once?
It's internationally known.
Aliens listen to it.
It's the best ever.
If there's something you're looking for in the 814, or feeling a little bored and think there ain't no more, check out Everything at Once and allow it to be your source. It's that raw podcast that's always showing support, highlighting the scene. No need to take I-90 to Peep or 79 to see how it be. Interviewing your locals with mindsets that are global. Innovators and creators on every single upload. So much going on in the EPA.
Incredible content.
Everything at Once will keep you up to date.
Amazing guests.
What you doing? Come through and hang with Tony and Dave.
Community driven.
Bringing everything at once from around the way. Everything at once from around the way. Hey.
Please listen. We love you. Everything at Once.
Everything at Once.
It's time to introduce this show.
The best show on the face of the planet.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in today. We want to thank our Patreon producers, Brian G., Josh W., Ian D., Nick G., and Sadie M.
Patreon, it's an awesome way to support the show and say thanks. You can become a Patreon supporter by clicking the link below and choosing to be an intern, assistant, or producer level supporter.
If being on the production team is too much pressure for you, you can also send any contributions using our Venmo at Everything at Once Studios. We now want to thank all the local businesses who supported this episode. These businesses get the Everything at Once stamp of approval and are critical members of the Everything at Once community. We couldn't do it without them. We've all seen those cars covered in rust, rotting out the floorboards and shortening their lifespans. Don't let your car be a victim of the harsh, eerie winters this year by getting a fluid film undercoating at Tommy's Automotive.
Winter is coming. Book your appointment today. Fluid film undercoating with Tommy's Automotive starts at $100. God, that's so cheap.
It really is a great deal.
It's a slamming deal. So you're going to want to call Tommy to get your quote right now at 814-384-8088.
With winter approaching, are there any last-minute details that you want to change or renovate around your home?
I might, but you know who to call.
Yeah! Ghostbusters!
No, Tony. No, not Ghostbusters. Solid State Construction.
Oh, yeah. Solid State.
Yeah.
Duh. Solid State takes pride in all their home remodeling projects. Solid State specializes in bathroom remodeling, kitchen renovation, window and door installation, custom design work, and more, including painting, flooring, drywall, sidewalk, decks. Get your free quote today by calling Nick at 814-397-7854. Solid people, solid product, solid state construction.
You know, Tony, with all these renovations from Solid State, I think we might have kicked up some bad energy around here. Yeah, oh yeah. Luckily, we know just the people to go see.
I know it this time. It's Ghostbusters.
No, Tony! Our friends at Cauldron and Thorne.
Wow, I feel really dumb right now, and I can't believe I didn't think of Cauldron and Thorne. The world's largest witchcraft and metaphysical shop, with everything a person needs to channel the spirit world.
Practice some self-care.
Find enlightenment.
Curse your enemies.
Protect yourself from your enemies.
Bless your friends.
Cleanse your space from negative energies. You can check out all the magical wares available for these different practices we all love and enjoy at Cauldron and Thorne, 2724 West 8th Street, or online at cauldronandthorne.com.
This week, we have an incredible guest for you.
Returning back after popular demand, we have Celinda and Colleen for another Halloween Am I the Asshole? A crowd favorite amongst all of our EAOS international intergalactic and interplanetary viewers. We know you guys love these ones, so we're bringing it back, especially because we haven't done one in quite a while now.
4th of July.
I think 4th of July was the
4th
last
of
one.
July, yeah. And I'm ready to judge people harshly over their actions on Reddit.
It's what we were born to do.
My favorite thing to do, to be honest.
It really is one of the funner episodes that we do every year, and we have a bunch of awesome Halloween themed. Oh shoot! I almost forgot to put on my ears.
Yeah, now you're just a guy with a
with like a
onesie
rope, yeah, with a onesie.
Yeah, I'm a bat, everybody.
Oh, you
So
can't- wait, you got to put your ears out.
there we go.
There you go.
Sorry for the confusion there. I think you guys might not have been able to tell, but I'm in fact a bat. See, here's my wings. We have Dave the Samurai, Celinda, who's a cat, a grunge cat with a
I love that.
grunge cat, and Colleen reprising her starring role as Nurse Mungler. What?
I'm just Janine Lindemulder. Porn star, model,
there you go.
felon, mother. She wears many hats today. the nurse's
Amazing.
hat.
She's an incredibly talented woman to have all those accolades after her name. Fantastic. And I don't know, you guys ready to get into this?
Definitely.
Ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I'll go first. Am I the asshole for making my daughter return a Halloween costume? This happened in October, and my daughter is still acting cold and hardly speaking to me. My daughter, female, 16 years old, works an after-school job 5 days a week. Her high school had a costume contest for Halloween. My daughter and her friends planned a group costume to enter. She went with her friends after school to buy costumes. I picked her up and her friends from the store, and they showed me their costumes. My daughter spent $80 on hers. I was pissed. That's a lot of money to spend on something you're only going to wear for a few hours. Very irresponsible use of money. I told her as much in the car and told her it was ridiculous. I dropped her friends off and took her back to the store to return the costume and the accessories. Her friends found someone else to take her place in the group, and they won the contest and a $100 Visa gift card to split. My daughter came home from school on Halloween upset. She claimed she had to sit and watch while her friends had fun, and she missed out on everything. I pointed out to her that after splitting the gift card, it would only be less than what she spent on the costume, and it was only a few hours, but she didn't want to listen to reason. Now, a month later, she is still moody and mostly ignoring me. My ex-husband told me I made her miss out, and she works so much she missed out on a lot of stuff with her friends, and I could have let her have this. But at the end of the day, I saved her $80. I was just trying to teach my daughter how to be responsible with money, and she could have gotten a cheap costume, especially since she would have only worn it for a few hours. Am I the asshole?
I think that there is a reason why her husband's her ex-husband.
Quite
After
possibly.
hearing that story.
Yeah. Just how considerate of a mother. Oh my God. Saved you $80 and took away your memories.
Well, there's no grounds. It's her money. Like, I get being like, hey, like, I know you're young, you don't know, you're not fiscally responsible yet, but like, I'm very much of the, if you made the money, no one has any right to tell you how to spend it unless you owe someone money. Like, then you can be like, fuck you for buying, you owe me $80. If she owed her mom money, I could see her mom being like, well,
Right.
but no.
I feel like having responsibilities, you have to be a little bit more careful, but as like a 16-year-old girl, like
Right.
what responsibilities do you really have? You don't have a car because your mom's driving you around. You could have avoided this whole thing in the first place if that was the case. But like, what better should she be spending on that money on? Does she have to like pay rent at home or something like that? Or
Right.
like
She's working
buy
5
her
days a
food?
week at 16. Like, she obviously is missing out on fun stuff with her friends.
Right.
All the time. Like, let her have this, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, no, she's definitely the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just,
I think I need to go back here on this though. I wasn't saying that the mother was the asshole because we all know that the child is always, in fact, the asshole in this situation. As previously proven and shown by our judgments, I think we all know that the child is the asshole. I'm just still trying to figure out why that is.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding a reason why the child would be the asshole in this situation.
I think she's the
so-
asshole because, like, obviously you just lie to your parents in this situation and be like, Mom, I spent $5
right.
on whatever. You don't show your parents the receipt. That was like her first huge mistake.
Sure.
Like telling your parents the truth. You should never do that.
Well, she has learned that lesson now.
Yeah.
Now she's never going to tell her mother anything ever again.
Ever again. Mom has just ruined that
Yes.
level of trust and that level of, acceptance for sure. So now she's gonna lie, probably use drugs, and maybe
ruin her entire life
I
now.
know if I was 16 years old, like that's where my money would have went. Like I would have been buying drugs with that. Like your
Right.
child is not buying drugs and buying a costume instead. So that's like parenting victory, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
agree.
I think she's kind of a loser that she's spending money on a costume
Yeah, big
and
nerd,
not,
dude.
and not
Instead of
drugs,
buying drugs.
and not drugs.
I don't like that we don't know what the costume was.
I know. I really
wanna
want to know what their costume, like group costume was.
Yeah.
They
See, I
won
can-
the contest.
I
The
can
mom
al-
doesn't even care.
I bet that the costume was something that was topical for teenagers, and that probably is why the mother didn't like it, because she didn't understand it.
Yeah, that could be it. I can like kind of understand this if it was like a really like slutty costume for your 16-year-old daughter. Like I
Sure.
get that to some extent. Like yeah, I mean do what you want to do, dress how you
She's
want to
walking
dress,
into school dressed like
all that
Colleen.
stuff. Yeah,
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm 36.
but at the same time, I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do. But at least then I can kind of understand it a little bit.
Right.
But
Yeah.
in this case, just because it's like $80 that your daughter works 5 days a week at like a part-time job after school, I bet her daughter probably gets good grades too.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was like the key when I was a child. If I got good grades, I was allowed to do like basically like drugs.
Yeah.
I was allowed to do drugs.
Maybe she's on the right track.
What do you
The
mean,
mom or the
babe?
daughter?
After hearing your little story there, maybe she needs to be as authoritarian as possible. She should take the heart of her daughter and crush it into a million little pieces, because that is what life is going to do to her
She's
after
preparing
high
her
school.
for the future.
She's
you know-
preparing her for the future.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to sell things you don't and take things back for $80 that
Right.
you are gonna need to
I
buy
think
ramen
it's,
noodles
right.
to survive for a week.
I think it's a great lesson for her to struggle when she's poor, when probably the rest of her life.
Probably.
You know?
Get used to being poor and taking things back and selling things you don't want to
Yeah.
sell.
Get used to
Exactly.
not
Because
spending money on
that's the-
fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I feel like this girl has had this mom her whole life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Probably,
she knows
yeah.
what
Yeah.
it's like for shit to suck.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I can only assume. So I just, most of these stories I can find like different sides, but man, this mom just sucks. I can't move past that.
I bet
She does.
I bet that the ex-husband, this is my theory on how this went. I bet that he took his daughter shopping. They picked that out with him knowing that her mom would make her
Oh,
take it
yeah.
back so that he would look better
Like
at
the
the
good
end of
guy,
it.
right.
Which is brilliant.
I bet you dad's like obscenely wealthy too. And she's living on like she's like not working and living on alimony, and she's like got to be extra strict with her money because she doesn't want to work and just gets these alimony checks from her rich ex-husband, and now she doesn't want her daughter to have any fun.
What if her ex-husband owns the costume store?
oh, twist.
See, she wouldn't mention that. That's why we can only make these wild
Right,
assumptions that
right.
that he probably does.
She was
probably
trying to save
does.
her daughter money, but really she was trying to spite her ex-husband.
Yeah, the CEO of Spirit Halloween.
Yes. That's probably it. And I think there's a lot here that really just point me towards the daughter being an asshole because she's a nerd and she's buying $80 costumes. I guess that's the only ground I have to stand on at this point.
I want to know. I have to know what the costumes
I know,
were. I have
right?
to know what they were.
Does that really affect your decision?
It does.
It does.
What
Yeah,
if
it
she's a
does.
nurse?
What if she was a
Well,
nurse?
it's a group costume,
It's
so
a
it's
group
gotta
costume.
be. It can't be a nurse.
What?
It's not a group costume.
Well, if it's like what if it's like a Grey's Anatomy team costume and she's like
I
a
would,
nurse?
I would think less
Slutty
of her.
Grey's Anatomy.
We're not saying she's slutty. She's a 16-year-old.
Oh, she's absolutely dressing slutty.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's
No,
Halloween.
you don't-
That's like your
yeah.
free pass.
Oh,
I'm saying it's a from what I've drawn from that, it's a school costume contest, so
Right,
it
I
can't
feel
be
like
too
they
slutty.
didn't
I
dress
feel
too
like.
slutty.
Well, they won the contest, so it's probably very slutty, I think.
all that's going. I don't know why. I mean, this makes absolutely no sense for 2023, but I'm just like, Spice Girls.
Spice
That's all that's going through my
Girls.
head that they were doing.
I'm thinking Scooby Gang is what I was thinking.
Scooby Gang.
I also feel like it has to be a weird costume though, because
Yeah.
if it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Scooby Gang, you could wear that like a lot of pieces of that costume in separate pieces throughout the year. You know what I mean? Like you got a
Maybe,
sweet
I
Velma
mean-
sweater. I'm wearing that probably
right.
5 out of 7 days of the week.
Well, if she
Well,
bought it from a costume
Unless
store,
she was the dog.
Yeah,
can't
maybe
wear
she
that
was the
every
dog.
day.
you find a reason.
Yeah.
Pure example today. I found a fucking reason to wear this twice this year.
That's
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Killed it.
Economical.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, this was like $5 off Wish, but you know what? That's not the point.
Yeah.
Right.
The point is, I bought a dumb hat.
It's amazing. It looks great.
But you gotta find other times to use it. But god damn it, I just
Mom's asshole.
The mom's
I'm
the
trying
asshole is
so
my
hard.
judgment.
I want to know more. There's not enough.
You can't. Are you
content.
saying you can't make a judgment here?
Oh no, I mean my judgment was made right out the gate.
Yeah,
Mom's
you-
the asshole. I would love to pick, from different
My
sides.
theory
but I just-
is actually I'm going to change it.
Oh, okay.
The friends are the assholes because they like pressured her into buying like the most expensive costume for this group costume and shit and told her it looked great on her and probably lied to her and manipulated her into getting this, and Mom is actually her only one true friend that always has your back.
No.
I don't. If the mom would have been like, the costume looked bad, and that's why I made her return it, then maybe. But she was just like, the costume is too expensive. She
Yeah.
didn't even care to
Yeah,
say
but
what the
her
costume
friends
was.
did that to her. They
They-
made her
But
buy the
Even
most
if it looked
expensive
I would
bad,
one.
say-
your mom doesn't tell you you look bad. That's
Yeah.
how you get bad self-esteem issues and then get plastic surgery and
also,
look like me.
$80 for a Halloween costume doesn't seem outrageous. That seems about normal.
Well, you got to remember that they won the costume
Yeah,
contest.
it
They
has-
did win.
So it couldn't have been that bad of a costume.
exactly.
Like they plugged someone else in.
Yeah, they were just like, okay, you can't do it. That's not like, I feel like real friendship. You just like,
What are they gonna do? Not
Yeah.
enter the costume contest because
No,
this
you,
what
like,
your
sneak
friend's
it.
mom is a
my
bitch?
friends would have
Yeah.
like snuck me the costume or something like that somehow.
Well,
I know. I'm surprised this child, 16 years old, I'm surprised she like followed the
Yeah,
rules and
right?
didn't do
Like,
it. Like I'd be
what?
like, fuck off. Like
I'd be
I'm
like,
going to
okay,
the
this is
yeah,
stupid,
I'm not
Mom.
gonna return it.
I'm literally just going to give my
No.
friends the $80
Yeah.
after we return it to go buy the costume again and bring it to me for the day of the thing and bring
Right.
a change of clothes.
Right.
Yeah.
The
and
fact
just
that
be real
she
sneaky.
didn't do that, really, I feel like she's the girl who, like, she gets good grades and she listens to her parents.
Yeah.
Like, let her have this.
Yeah.
Mom's an asshole.
I think her mom beats her for sure. Like there's no like for
Probably.
someone to be
Locks
that
her in
scared
her
of their
room.
mom to be like, I'll return it, even though it's my money and it's gonna ruin this huge thing that I'm really excited about. Like, she's
Yeah.
definitely getting physically abused.
And
at
not
home.
having her friends like sneak the costume to you.
Right, yeah. she
Like-
can't
Yeah,
even
she's
risk
really
her
scared of
mom
this
finding out.
mom.
Right.
This mom is not nice. Yeah, no wonder she's still mean to you. And she's probably like the sweetest, nicest little girl ever. 16-year-old girl that's
Absolutely.
like working 5 days a week, getting good grades, probably does like some sort of after school like debate or something like that, you know what I mean? Or is in chemistry club or something stupid.
She probably wasn't even dressed slutty.
No,
She probably
probably
wasn't.
not.
She was probably with all of her other nerd friends in the club.
They
and
probably dressed up as robots.
I hope so.
now I'm just feeling really bad for whoever this girl was, and I want to reach out and be like, you have a friend in me. You know, like I just feel like she's in a really abusive home, and like this mom is such a fucking narcissist and like awful, and she's been told her whole life how awful she is, and she's like, but I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm gonna go on Reddit and find out. So
Right. The internet's gonna validate me.
she's gonna get accepted to Harvard and end up going to community college because her mom's like, Harvard's too expensive. And,
yeah,
know?
she's never gonna reach her potential.
You're never she's never gonna be able to live up to that, and that's very sad, I think, because
It is.
if mom is that obsessed over funds to keep her child from Harvard theoretically to go to community college to save money because they can't afford it, I feel like that's kind of sad, and that's the conclusion that I'm coming to from reading this
Yeah.
Reddit post.
Or I just thought of another thing, maybe, and this doesn't excuse anything, but I'm just thinking of different angles here. The mom could be one of those moms. Maybe this is her only child, and she's getting scared of the fact that she's becoming independent. She has her own money. She's about to leave the nest, and she's like, fuck, no, you must be a child forever.
Yeah.
You're grounded. You return that. You don't actually have money. You're not growing up. You're staying home. I'm scared.
I feel like that's probably
Maybe.
a good conclusion to draw from this situation.
I think the conclusion, this is what I'm going to end with on this one. I think that this mother is doing a wonderful job. And sometime back in, where are we, 2023? Okay, so probably somewhere back in the 90s when this lady was a 16-year-old, I bet that she bought an $80 costume and won a contest. And plot twist, it ruined her life in the long run. Okay.
Yeah.
So like
she's always just chasing that high of that
she's
costume
always
contest.
chasing that high of that costume contest.
And
It
now
was
she has
all downhill from there.
She has a whole closet full of cosplay costumes that cost thousands of dollars, and it's just
It ruined her
she
life.
drove her into debt, and now she lives in a one-bedroom apartment and shares her bed with her daughter.
She did dress as a Spice Girl.
Yes.
And she dressed as I don't know, Baby Spice, let's say, and some guy was like, damn, that girl is fine, and it ended up being the ex-husband that she resents.
Who got her pregnant at
Who
16?
got her
Yes,
pregnant
at the Halloween party.
at the Halloween party.
Non-consensual.
Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm just saying, we could get dark.
No,
We
it
could
could
get
be. It
dark,
could have.
you
I mean,
know?
at 16, you can't
Halloween.
really
It's time to get
consent
dark.
to that anyway, so it's all non-consensual.
On Halloween.
On ever at 16, you can't consent.
Well, if it's another 16-year-old.
It's still like not consensual though, because legally they can't consent.
Actually, fun fact, Pennsylvania, 16 is the age of consent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So-
it depends on the
okay.
state that you're in.
I have a very fucked up story as to why I know that, but I will not share that on this podcast.
Ask Colleen about that later.
So anyways, I'm gonna say that this girl's the asshole.
Boom. And I'm going with the friends, and you guys both are strongly in favor of the mom being the asshole.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well,
Mom's the asshole.
as per usual, we have no consensus, and that's great. So I guess we're ready for the next one.
All right, who's
Go for
got
it.
it?
Okay.
Yeah, rip it, Dave.
All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my son's Halloween party since he won't invite his sister since she cheated? I'm going to host the event myself, and I will do that for a while. In our family, we rotate who hosts the family event. This Halloween party is being done by my son, and everyone was invited but his sister. She gave a name, actually, Amy. Amy, cheated on her long-distance boyfriend about 4 months ago. I don't approve of what she did. It was shitty of her. Now, my son has taken her cheating personally, extremely personally. I had to tell him to shut up about it multiple times. Now, today I was talking with her, and she didn't know when the party was. I called up my son, and he told me she isn't invited. I told him I will not be going if everyone in the family is invited besides her. This is when the argument broke out. He called me some creative names for defending the slut of the family. I hung up after that. I told my husband what happened, and he is also not going now. My son is pissed, and I'm getting messages for not going to the party. Edit, this is a comment. He is 28 and she is 23.
Jesus, what the fuck?
I have talked to him about it. He can't stand sluts. His exact words. He has never been cheated on from my knowledge. She already did that, apologized to the ex, and then they broke up. She didn't hide it. His attitude about this makes me think this will be a problem with him for a long time.
Wow.
First of all, I'm glad they brought up the ages because that
Like, I understand, like, a 16-year-old being spiteful about that, especially if they're, like, maybe friends with the ex or whatever.
right.
But 28 years old, I feel like that opens up this whole thing into a far different red pill type.
Yeah, that's what I was
incel,
thinking. Like he's
this
like,
guy
on
found this
4chan.
on Reddit, in 4chan, all that stuff, and is just like really upset with women in general. Like,
Yes,
really,
total incel.
you know,
Yeah.
Andrew Tate, like misogynistic,
He is messaging random women on the internet, and when they say they're not interested, he calls them sluts.
and tells them that he's a good guy.
And he's a good guy. Yes.
In the
he's a good
comments,
guy.
this mom in the comments, I read a little further. This guy is married, and he's been married for 3 years, so he is not. But
the 28-year-old son.
the 28-year-old son isn't
married.
married to a woman. I did a little more research, and I found that the age of 28 is actually the peak age of hating sluts and men.
Was that a random comment on that?
So it makes sense a little bit on his end.
That's fact according to Reddit, and that's
Right,
all
that's
the
science.
fact I need.
That's science.
Well, clearly his wife is cheating on him.
Yeah,
yes.
she wants an open. She
Clearly.
has an open relationship.
Yeah.
Yes, she's
that's
been
what she
asking for
wants.
it, and he's like,
No.
he's just like
He feels
twitching.
inadequate.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, well, my wife is obviously just a slut.
Yeah, and now his sister
sister's
did that,
a
and he's
slut.
just like,
And they're
fuck
Christian,
all
so he
women.
can't
Yeah.
divorce her.
Maybe his sister. How about this? Maybe his sister banged the same guy that his wife did.
long distance. So that's even a harder scenario to wrap.
Well, no,
your head around.
I think she lives at home, or like lives in the same area as him, and her boyfriend was long distance. So
Right,
like they're in the
right.
same area, like her
The brother
and
and
the brother.
sister.
are
Right,
in
but I'm
the same-
saying for his wife and his sister to bang this man who lives
long
far away,
distance.
that's a stretch. But
No, well, the boyfriend that she cheated on lives
Lives
far
far
away.
away.
Yeah.
right.
Right.
But the person that she cheated with could live in the
Oh,
same.
oh,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, forgot
I was
about
thinking
that.
the same thing. Yeah.
They both took a flight to Alaska to bang the same Eskimo.
Yeah. That would be quite a thing.
Would be.
He's really got like some big dick energy
Yeah.
to like be drawn both these same girls from the same family. I kind of respect that in a certain fucked up kind of way to like be taking out members of the same family. You know what I mean?
Right.
To like
mean-
trying to round the bases. Like next up is the fucking mom.
Next up is
obviously.
the
Yeah.
mom. Then the dad's not going. The dad's gonna go to the party after that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I feel bad because part of me feels bad because I feel like this guy is clearly severely wounded by a woman, whether it's his wife or an ex-girlfriend. He had some experience where he was cheated on. It fucking ruined his life.
Yeah.
And when he sees that his sister did the same thing, and maybe she was like, whatever, I do what I want, you know, and maybe she like
fuck
didn't.
You. Fuck you, Brian.
Yeah, like she didn't like she had no remorse over her, cheating, and and he was just like that. Just stirred up all these old emotions of Cassandra, who fucked
His
Jake
best
in
friend.
high school,
Yeah.
and he's just like, nope, done
Calling
with
your
my
sister
sister.
that's what at the age of 28 I feel like is extra.
Very.
Yeah.
That's kind of like before you said the ages, I'm thinking like, okay, this kid is definitely like 16 years old or
Yeah.
like 14 years old, and like just
And he
figured
looked
they-
up to his sister's boyfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the other way. I thought he was going to be the younger one, and she
Right.
was going to be the older
Right,
one.
right. That's
where
what
I'm
I was thinking too. But
What do you think about another side twist on this? Maybe the girlfriend didn't bang the same guy as his wife. Maybe he was banging her boyfriend. And they're both. He's just very upset that she cheated on him. They have a strong.
he
connection.
also loves him.
He
Yeah.
also loves him very much.
Yeah, if he was like really close with her boyfriend, I could see that. Oh,
I feel like that has to be part of it.
It has to be. They broed out together.
Right.
I mean, unless it is like an incel thing, and he
But he's
really just
married.
wants an excuse to hate women.
Yeah,
Right.
I think he listens to like a lot of Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
And probably votes for
Yeah.
Trump, and
Definitely.
just like really doesn't have very much respect for women, and considers himself a traditionalist. That like
He's an alpha.
the wife stays at home and raises the kids and cleans the house and stuff like that, and just obeys. Very subservient, domesticated.
Right. His sister is clearly not that, so that's probably another reason why he hates her so much.
Yeah.
Because she's like independent, and she's like, I'm gonna make my own decisions. Actually.
And like she like admitted it too, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how that like happened or whatever.
yeah.
If she was caught somehow, or if she just
It sounded
was
like
just,
she just came out and told the guy. She's like,
Yeah.
sorry, I did this. We're broken up now.
Right, which is like really admirable because
That's
most
pretty
people who cheat
respectful.
don't fucking tell
Right.
the other person.
Especially when you're long distance. Like
Right.
you could get away with that for a long time.
Exactly. I think I mean, it's not, I don't condone cheating, but
Right.
I mean, I admire that she had the balls to
yeah,
fess up
'cause
about
a lot
it.
of people don't do that.
Nah,
Right.
They
both-
wait till they get caught.
They both suck. They both suck.
Right.
But the brother and the sister. I'm gonna start early on this. The parents are the assholes here. They raised two awful kids. They
did.
Yeah.
raised one that's a cheating whore, and they raised one that is just awful and terrible towards women. These two are not winning.
They did
the
not do
MVP.
well.
They probably denied that girl a $80 costume when she was 16.
Oh, it's all the same family.
All the same family.
I also find this weird. I don't know if this is just because I have a broken family. I find it very weird that they're having a family Halloween party. That's weird to me. A family Halloween party?
I used to go to my friend's family Halloween party every year.
I feel like I've never heard of that. My family certainly never had a Halloween party.
I was like the weird friend that showed up to all the family events, though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like family reunion. Oh, Tony, it's good. I haven't seen you in a while. You know, aunts and uncles all know me and shit.
No, I'm with you, Celinda, because my
I feel like
family
that's a
would
weird
never
thing to
do that.
Like
but
Christmas, Thanksgiving, sure. Halloween?
it's funny because I do
I,
know someone who does that. But I grew up in a similar situation where that would never be a thing in my family.
No.
It takes away.
I feel like we would have a family Halloween thing if we ever had children.
Maybe, yeah. Like, well, because you have a huge
That's nice.
you have a huge family too.
Yeah.
So like, even if we did,
I
have
don't
a
do Halloween with them though.
Yeah, that's
I know.
true.
I mean, when you say family Halloween, what do you mean? Me, you, and the kids?
Yeah.
Well, that's clearly not what's happening.
But
here.
even when they're, like,
inviting
old.
like their whole family.
Well, we could invite your sister.
That's weird. It's a weird thing.
Why-
to do.
why
They're
is
not
it
cheating on her
weird?
boyfriend.
Sarah, if
If
you're
you-
listening,
if
Sarah and
you-
Tim, if you're listening out there, Celinda does not want you coming to our
No,
Halloween party.
don't come. No,
That's rude.
If you have
I would have
small,
invited you guys.
If there's small children, like that's one thing, but they are grown adults and they're throwing a family Halloween party. That seems weird to me.
I don't know. Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, some people just like a
I
reason
like
to
fucking
just
Halloween.
get down
Yeah,
and
dude, shit.
But it depends what kind.
Anti-Halloween. Like, look at our house right now.
I'm
and
not
all the Halloween
anti-Halloween.
shit that
I'm
we have.
anti-celebrating holidays with your family.
Well, let's think about like I want to think about two things. Like, first off, what kind of Halloween party is it? Because my family, when we grew up, when it was family parties, it was just an excuse for everyone to get just trashed, you know?
Sure.
So, like, if it's
Right.
everyone's getting together just to get hammered, that's one kind of family party that I'm definitely familiar with and
Sure.
can get behind. Now, if they're, like, dressing in khakis and like, you know,
Doing the
fucking
Monster Mash?
doing the Monster Mash and, like, you know,
Dressing in khakis.
it's a very, like, church family, and that's why he's so
Everybody
upset.
brings a
Everyone
baked
dresses
dessert.
up as a Mormon for Halloween.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're all buttoned
Flanders
up and, like,
Halloween.
reading passages from the Bible. And, you know, he had to, you know, it's a good thing that he told them that he thought his sister was a cheating slut and didn't invite her, instead of, like, they show up and it's like they're bobbing for apples. And when she goes down to get one, he's like, you whore. Like,
Drowns her.
we're going to play a new game called Drown the Slut. Happy Halloween.
Witches don't float.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's why we don't have family Halloween parties.
Right, exactly.
Wait, I already forgot. Who wrote in this story? Wait,
The mom.
Father.
The mom.
Or was it
The
the
mom.
mom?
It was the mom.
It was the mom.
And she. Wait,
She's mad because the brother doesn't want to come. Or her
but who
son.
is she? Is she asking if he or the dog? Who is she asking? Is
If
the
she's
asshole?
the
She's
asshole.
asking if she's the asshole for not going to the party and then making her
Oh.
husband not go to the party.
I
Oh,
thought,
Because the
nuh-uh.
son-
I
the
thought the
son-
son didn't want to go to the party.
no, the son
son's
is
hosting the party.
the party
Oh.
and not inviting his sister. And the mom is like, if you're not inviting your sister, then I'm not coming either.
Oh, okay.
God, this family's catty.
Yeah, Jesus. Come on. Well, first off, I mean, the son, he's a bit
He's
of a
weird.
doucher.
Yeah.
He's a
he
fucking weirdo.
he has
Yeah.
something fucked up with women going on.
Or maybe he likes his sister.
Like he likes his sister, and she's actually his stepsister.
Oh,
I've seen a
could be
video
it.
like that.
that's everything on Pornhub.
Yeah.
There's something in this pumpkin.
Wow. Yeah, I think we've all seen that video actually.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think
yeah.
that the brother and the sister are both assholes. I think
sister
that
for cheating
if the
and the
mom
brother for just
really,
hating women?
If the mom really wants to have family Halloween, she should just throw her own party and be like, no one go to my son's party.
Oh, she throws an Halloween
Yeah,
Anti-son
party
party.
not an anti-Halloween party, just a separate party
for her and the daughter, where they just
Yeah, they can have
rage
their
out.
own
They call some
party.
strippers and they fucking
See,
They
but-
invite over the guy that she slept with, that she cheated on her boyfriend with.
and the handsome neighbor down the street
And
that
the
always
handsome
cuts his grass with
neighbor,
no shirt.
The pool boy.
Yeah.
I
And
think,
they have their own Halloween party.
Yeah.
see, I think that would make them just as bad. It's like you're not inviting the sister because you think she's a slut, but we're going to have one and we're not going to invite you because we think you're a jerk.
And we are
have
sluts.
an all-slut Halloween party.
An all-slut Halloween party.
Only sluts, only.
And their dad is the biggest slut of them all. He will be there.
Eye for an eye.
Yeah, I think they should have a sluts-only Halloween party. That's obviously the solution to this problem.
Well, that's the solution, but we're not here to find solutions. We're not here to solve these people's problems. We're only here to judge them.
That's true.
And I'm judging that the dad's the asshole for teaching his son such poor ways to respect women. Because obviously, like, he was... I bet you the mom is very, like, oppressed in the family. Like, they definitely, like, go to church, and mom wasn't allowed to wear, like, a low-cut dress ever. Or if she did, like, dad would shame her for it. Like, oh, my God, you're such a whore, Cindy. Why do you dress like that? Why do you wear a nice dress when I take you out to dinner?
Your ankles?
And I believe that's my theory as to why the son is such an asshole. So really it all stems from the dad and his what's the right word? His prudishness towards women and his lack of respect for their mom and his own psychological problems that he developed from spending too much time on 4chan and listening to Andrew Tate and voting for Trump.
I think it's the grandpa's fault. He's not included in the story, but he is one of those grisly World War II veterans, and he thought women had a certain place in society.
Right.
And he taught that to his son, the father,
Wow.
and his father taught that to the grandson. And I believe that this 28-year-old had a deep relationship with his World War II veteran grandfather.
That was his hero.
That was his hero, and they just bonded over not liking sluts or Japanese people.
Wow.
Grandpa's the asshole.
That's quite the theory.
So we're going multi-generational here. And what about you ladies? Where are you standing with this?
I kind of want to go with his internet algorithm is the asshole because that's clearly like radicalized him against women. So
On TikTok, you're saying like TikTok Reels?
yeah, and just
And
like
that pushed him to the 4chan and that
everything.
pushed him to...
yeah, and that pushed him to be like
White
women
supremacy
are
movements.
sluts, all of them. So I'm gonna go with the internet is an
He's
asshole.
red-pilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like an incest twist. There's something about that just screams he has some kind of possessiveness with his sister, and I think
He was always
don't
very
know.
protective of his sister, I bet.
yeah,
And like always kind of kept the boys away, and like when they would come over, like
Maybe.
I don't know, like play with a baseball bat or like clean his guns or something if he had them.
Or maybe maybe they took sibling baths a little too old into life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're 5 years apart, so they should have never done it anyways.
Yeah, I just blame that I think this guy just needs to see a therapist. I think there's a lot
Yeah.
of deep-seated shit that
Yeah.
he is not even aware of. And his
Oh,
wife is probably really miserable.
I think he's aware and he actually like embraces and appreciates that about himself.
Probably. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
makes
you're
him a
right.
strong man.
It makes
Right.
him strong. That's why he's been married. Why he's married, because he is
Yes.
such a strong man and
Right.
he controls his woman,
Right.
keeps her in her place,
Just like Granddad.
just like Celinda and me.
Exactly. Exactly like us.
That's why she's not wearing a low-cut shirt for this video,
Right.
Celinda. I would have had something to say if you did.
Well, I'm gonna have to wear just like a bra the next time I'm on now.
Girl, you want to wear this next time?
Yeah. I'm gonna borrow
You
Colleen's
better
outfit.
I would never allow that ever. Not in my house. Oh man, that's such a horrible thing. Your parents ever say, "Not in my house"? I feel like every parents say that. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know.
maybe
what
not
was the-
Celinda's parents.
But we're still
My parents
supposed to be
ignored me, so they didn't say anything to me.
Not in my house, Tony.
But we're still supposed to decipher whether the mom is
Well,
the
it's
asshole.
That's
whoever.
what-
It's
that's
whoever
what's
you
asking.
want. Yeah.
I'm saying the mom
Is the
isn't
mom
an
an
asshole.
asshole?
She's just a traumatized, beaten, and
Yeah.
abused woman.
Yeah, she's just picking.
She's a victim of her environment.
Yeah, and she's just sticking with the ladies. You know, she's picking.
Yeah.
And she probably knows her son became this piece of shit from her piece of shit dad.
Or
You know, the
potentially
generational.
grandfather.
Grandfather. Both,
Yeah.
honestly. Why you can't just
Yeah.
pick one. It could
Yeah,
be
Apple doesn't
both.
far
There's
fall
a song.
from the tree.
I got the blood of my father. Tyler Smiley.
Roll
I thought that was
my
about
veins.
I thought that was about Jesus.
Low key. I don't think that's
I
about
don't think
Jesus.
that's about Jesus.
I don't think that's about Jesus, Dave. You missed that one. But I can understand where you got
No,
your
he
cues.
missed that one.
The blood of the father.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler. You're the asshole.
You are the asshole, actually. Congratulations. Well,
Okay.
we've decided, right?
Yeah.
I say father, Dave says grandfather, Celinda says, I don't remember.
The internet.
The
The
internet.
That's
Damn, the internet is a fucking asshole.
And Colleen just said incest is going on.
Yeah, incest.
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 psychological problems is the asshole.
Yeah.
His brain.
brother, his brain.
So the son is the asshole.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well done,
Great.
guys. Good work.
Judgment is passed. We need to get like a gavel.
Well, I really do. I've been thinking that forever. I need a gavel. Dave has a samurai sword that
Oh,
works
Pretty
just about as good.
Yeah.
Has that been there the whole time?
Yeah, he brought it.
Yes, it has.
Samurai Dave over here with his samurai sword.
All
If
right.
anybody doesn't like his judgment, they get
Yeah. You,
beheaded at the hands of Dave. So be careful.
yeah.
If anybody has anything to say about it, you can catch him outside.
Ooh,
Catch me
outside.
outside. All right, are we ready?
Yeah,
Oh,
hit
yes.
me.
Story.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Title is Am I the Asshole for Ruining Thousands of Kids' Halloween and Not Feeling Bad About It?
Thousands.
Yeah. This is a great story.
I
for
ruined
me.
one family's Easter once, but never thousands of people's Christmas
And
or Halloween.
They don't feel bad about it at all.
And they don't feel. I didn't feel bad about it at all. I feel a little bit bad about it now, but
I'm interested in that story, but I don't.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
that's-
appropriate
yeah.
for on here either. That was actually pretty fucked up.
All right, so I live in a large neighborhood, about 90 houses. We are what's considered the rich neighborhood.
Ooh, nice.
So our
Well, good for you,
neighborhood,
Dick.
our neighborhood, as always, has been
You're an
a
asshole
hot
already.
spot for trick or treaters. We used to get about 700 to 1,000 kids a year. I've always loved getting trick or treaters because my kids are teens now and don't trick or treat anymore. But in the last 4 years, it's gotten ridiculous. There's thousands of kids and their parents are flooding the street. People with hay in their rigs carrying kids around, trampling yards, littering candy wrappers everywhere, and the amount of small children walking around by themselves is appalling. People from the neighboring town of 30,000 people take their kids to my neighborhood. I was annoyed, but I never really did anything about it till 2 years ago. My daughter tripped and broke her arm. We didn't think it was a break, but we wanted to go to the ER anyways to get it checked out. And there were so many people in our neighborhood, we couldn't get out. There were cars everywhere, lining the streets, parked in people's yards. It was horrible. We had to wait until everyone left about 1 a.m. to go to the hospital. My daughter had to wait in pain for hours. At that point, I was done. I contacted the neighborhood community, and we managed to get some folks, cops mostly, to stand at the gate with a list and only let in certain people. Folks that live here, family
make a
members,
list.
friends. If you wanted to get in, you had to be close to someone in the neighborhood. It was great. There were only about 300 kids in the neighborhood, and after there was barely any trash. And we're doing it again this year. I recently told my sister what I have done, and she got really angry. When we were kids, we had to trick or treat in other neighborhoods because we lived in a trailer park with no other kids. She told me I was a horrible person for ruining thousands of kids' Halloween, but honestly, I'm not too broken up about it. It was a hazard. If there was a fire or an emergency, no one will be able to get in to help. When I was a kid, there was never any cars lining the streets. The residences could get out if they want. It was never dangerous. I don't think I'm in the wrong, but I've always respected my sister's opinion. Am I the asshole?
So,
Whew, it's a lot.
what happened to the daughter? She was like
Yeah.
injured or something.
On Halloween?
Yeah, apparently she tripped and possibly broke her arm.
But did
Over
she,
what? Why did she trip?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
She just tripped.
She tripped.
And that's everybody else's fucking fault.
when he mentions trash, like there's less trash, does he mean physical trash or people?
Or people. Both.
Probably
It's
means
not-
both.
yeah. Yeah, that it sucks. 'Cause at first I was like, oh, this total bitch. But then like the whole like people disrespecting the neighborhood, leaving trash, like cars being lined up, not being able to get out, like that I can understand being like, what the fuck. But like, I understand because I always went to the rich neighborhood for the candy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Right.
You're rich for a reason. Of course people
Yeah,
are going to
you
come to your
have
fucking
more
neighborhood.
candy.
Yeah.
We
Have
know
the
you
better
do.
candy.
And, like, I guess you can't make your whole neighborhood, but, like, turn off your fucking lights and stay inside and eat candy if you don't want people to come to your house.
Right.
But,
But that's not the issue.
right,
As a
right.
trailer park kid, I feel like there was a large number of kids that would come to our neighborhood to trick or treat in the trailer park because there were so many houses and they were all like right next to each other and you could just get like a million houses. So
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that's kind of.
I mean, maybe
not
they
a good-
live in
not
like
a great
in a
point.
smaller trailer park, and there's only like a handful of trailers, and
Yeah.
there really aren't any other kids there.
Right.
I think it's the fact that they did the same exact thing as kids, and he doesn't have any kind of empathy towards these people that are
Yeah,
doing the
right.
same exact
Right.
thing. Now that he's
Right.
rich,
I feel like a
Oh,
lot
I
of
thought
kids.
it was a woman. Is that a woman?
It doesn't
I just
say.
assumed it was a woman.
I just assumed it was a woman either, but
I
it
thought it
does
was a
not
dad.
say.
Oh.
I
It
assumed
doesn't
it was
say.
a man because every one we've gone through so far, the man is just a total
Just
rage
the
prick.
way
No.
it's written just like comes off to me as a woman. But,
As a woman.
Yeah.
But they don't say if they are male or female
true.
in this.
Well,
Yeah.
this person going from rags to riches and then just being like, fuck these poor people.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. I feel like as a neighborhood that like I feel like a lot of people come to trick or treat at and giving out like king size candy bars and like literally handfuls of small candy bars to people most of the time. And I kind of like everybody coming, and I use my way of like separating who gets good candy bar, which might also be fucked up. It's like if you have a good costume, you get a king size candy bar, and if you don't, you just get like the little one.
Oh yeah, you're a jerk too. I forgot about that.
I have my own candy giving techniques for the people that just show up and the teenagers, which I guess it's better that they're trick or treating than drugs again, but
yeah.
Is it?
maybe, I don't know. But I definitely think this dude's a fucking asshole all
I
the
think
way.
he's an asshole the most because he doesn't feel bad. I also feel like there had to have been some like other solution other than just like we're shutting the gates of the neighborhood.
Right. Like,
there's
that's so
a
fucking
list.
pretentious.
There's a list now.
Also, like, it doesn't really explain how the daughter got hurt, which I think is really ridiculous, too, to just, like, take out his frustration or anger that his daughter got hurt, like, tripped. Like, your daughter fucking tripped, and what you're going to do about it is kick all the people out of your neighborhood. Like, that's just a
Right.
straight, like, misplaced anger and aggression.
Right.
Like, why are you even mad that your daughter tripped, first off? Like,
Mad at the
that
pores.
fucking happens. Like, that's going to like, your daughter's going to trip sometimes.
That's the only part that I agree with this person actually, because if you do like the daughter tripping, whatever, but if you do have someone, not just them, someone else in the neighborhood that has a serious medical emergency and it's so congested that they just like, I don't know, fucking die.
Right.
Then it kind of makes sense to me. Like, okay, maybe we need to,
Do something.
or
Right.
streamline this process
Yeah.
or cut it back a little bit.
Right.
Tell
but
people
to-
not to park in the middle of the fucking road.
Right.
Like maybe that's
yeah,
the solution.
Like have
Right.
you have a gated community and a security guard. You think he can't like just like hang out and be like, "Yo, don't park
Right.
in the fucking road, dickhead."
right.
Have
Like,
people park outside and walk
Yeah.
in.
I just feel like there are so many other compromises that could have
Absolutely.
been made. Other than like now all these thousands of poor children can't come to my neighborhood. Those fucking poor.
The worst
Yeah.
part is
The-
that this
the
is like
pores.
disguised as like child safety, I think. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like, "Oh, my daughter got hurt. We need to stop this." But
Right.
really like your
Like,
daughter
he broke her arm.
Yeah, like the fucking kids that came in like pushed her down off of the thing and like laid her arm across a curb and then jumped on it.
I think-
And
what if-
compound fracture.
He might have broke her arm just for
Yeah,
a reason.
yeah.
You know what? I think if this person was a really noble person, this is what you do. You're talking about how you're so filthy rich, you live in a gated community. You know what I would do? Go to Walmart, go off the internet, buy all kinds of candy, take it to the neighboring town, and give it people so they can give it out to the kids themselves.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about them coming to your neighborhood.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's
It's
a pretty
great.
nice solution, but we all know that this is America, Dave, and
Right.
Yeah.
that kind of community
A
does
rich
not exist
person
here anymore.
is not gonna do that.
No, instead they'll make a club exclusive
Right.
list.
Or what they could
Yeah.
do is if they don't want anyone going into their precious fucking neighborhood, they could, wherever the gates are, just have like a massive walk, not a bowl, but a walk of Halloween candy.
Like a
just-
giant cauldron.
Yeah, just sitting out and being like,
Dude,
I mean,
those kids
that's
would-
also super pretentious, but like, you know.
But at least
if
you
those
can still
kids
get candy.
At least you
I
still
would
get
have
candy,
stolen
yeah.
that cauldron though. Like for like it'd been there like 5 minutes, and me and my boys would have like wheeled it away on a skateboard somehow and had all the candy. for
This is
ourselves.
what's wrong with the
that's-
pores.
This is what's wrong. I think the other option would
We
be.
can't allow poor people.
I think the other option would be if you, if people were trying to sneak in past the list, you have people on the roofs of like the houses that are like closest to the gates, and you shoot them.
Right. Right.
With like paintball guns.
No, you shoot
no,
them.
with real guns. Real guns.
Real guns.
No trespassing. Did this happen in a stand your ground state?
I don't know.
Is this
It doesn't-
Texas?
it
Florida?
doesn't
Texas?
say.
Get off my fucking land!
When you said gated community, I immediately thought of Florida. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
It's probably a stand your ground state, and he probably could have shot them if he wanted to. Maybe this guy's actually not the asshole because he did the more respectful thing and just told him not to fucking come on his property instead of just, standing his
Shooting.
ground like he should as a true American and shooting these children
Shooting them all.
in the face. With
Then you
a
wouldn't have to worry about them coming
rifle.
back next year. They'd be dead.
Because
You
they,
did.
Right.
Yeah, population control.
Right.
Exactly. That's how you get rid of the pores.
that's what Halloween's
You kill
really
them.
You
about.
trick them into coming into your rich neighborhood for Halloween, and then you shoot them all.
What a treat.
What a treat. Or you
Trick.
could,
It's actually
That's
the trick.
That's the trick.
It's the trick.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna make this child disappear. Or at least part of his head.
I think the other thing you can do that might be a little more humane would be do the old apple and pennies. You remember that from being a kid? Like that one
Yeah.
person that would give you
an
like a
apple.
penny in a little like dope bag that was
Yes.
just like a penny a day. Put it in your loafer, child.
Oh my god.
That
know?
would solve the problem of kids coming to your
Yeah,
neighborhood.
'cause they'd be
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm
then
not
what do
going
you
to this.
give your kids? I guess you keep a list at the house and you just recognize the kids from the neighborhood and they get good
Right.
candy.
Yeah.
And all the poors get a pennies.
You have a
Or
you have
Well,
like
then
a
you're gonna have street
Yeah,
fights.
dude, they're gonna
you're
get
gonna
bag
have
snatching and all that stuff going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, no,
That's true.
nope. That kind of segregation. If they see it happening,
The same is
they're
not
like,
equal, or separate is not equal.
right.
Yeah.
Like I got a toothbrush from the dollar store, and you got a king size Three Musketeers. Fuck you. Let's fight over it.
Yeah,
Right.
we are definitely fighting over that candy
That's
bar.
true.
First off, I'm in a costume. You have no idea who I am. You can't catch me. I'm faster than you. And I have a skateboard, so
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Right.
you give the kids a secret password. Okay, like the lights are off at your house, and then people knock at the door, and it's not trick or treat. It's like, they fucking like jingle their jewelry or something because they're rich too, And then you're like,
Right,
oh,
right.
whatever. Then the kids behind, oh, these people got candy. They knock. They don't hear any jingling. These people are fucking poor.
They're
Do not
poors.
open the door. We don't have any candy for you. Get on
Get
out of
outta
here.
Yeah, that seems like the first thing, but just extra steps though.
Well, there's going to be some pushback, right? I mean, the police are at the gate, but we all know the poors don't respect the police. Like that is not going to last for
True.
long.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
gonna overwhelm those guys.
Yeah, they're just gonna go to a different part of the gate and climb it.
Right.
Like,
One of the poor people's parents is going to dress up as one of the cops. And they're going to think it's a police officer, and they're just going to start letting all these kids in. You'll be the Robin Hood of, I don't know, where are they? Like,
South Beach.
South
Or
Beach. No,
Tampa or
South Beach is
Yeah.
probably too nice. I'm going to say Jacksonville. They're in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so we've come up with many solutions here, but I still, we haven't found. I say the police are fucking assholes actually, because the police are
Obviously.
always fucking assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's my actual answer.
Well, and they clearly. Wait, did they say they did have cops?
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
gate.
At the gate.
So why the fuck was all that happening?
No,
then?
they didn't have the cops until the guy complained.
Oh, okay.
And then the
he
cops
got
kept
the
everybody
cops
out.
there.
And the cops are just like glorified bouncers now with a list
Right.
of names.
And they are really
Right.
happy to stop the poors from getting into
Oh,
this
of course they are.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
This is their favorite job of the year.
Yeah, no, like we said earlier, it's there could have been so many compromises made that didn't involve having a fucking elitist goddamn candy list. And
man.
yeah.
So the police are assholes.
I think the
Yeah.
assholes are Mars Candy
The candy
Company,
company.
and Hershey's. First off, you're setting these kids up for something we talked about last year, which is diabetes.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
first off, you're feeding all these kids chocolate, rotting their teeth, fucking spiking their blood sugar. We wouldn't even have this problem if your sick marketing schemes didn't make kids go out for this stupid holiday.
Yeah.
They're the assholes.
Good stance.
Interesting, choice. I respect it.
I'm going to have to go with, the cops being assholes is a good stance. I definitely 100% agree with that.
But that's also kind of a given in any situation, you know what I mean?
I feel like gated communities are the assholes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to go with. Elitist gated communities.
It's the rich people.
It's the rich people are assholes. And yeah, I'm going to go with gated communities and rich people are the assholes.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the father because I believe that he broke his daughter's arm just to prove a point and to get the pools out of his neighborhood.
Yeah.
I do.
That's definitely a possibility. He could have done it. I wouldn't put it past him.
Right.
Especially,
It's an emergency.
he's like,
I'll
I
take
thought
it
I got
out."
away from these poor people when I left the trailer park,
Right.
and they
Yeah.
keep following
And he keeps
me.
being reminded of his past.
And then he goes, and I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
And then there's that group of girls that had their fucking costumes.
Yeah,
and
that's a Scooby costume.
Scooby Gang.
everybody knows everybody in this
Yeah, and all
episode.
these stories are all related.
There, yep.
They all live down the street.
Well done, well done. Okay. You guys ready for another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pick. Let's see what time. How much time we got? Oh shit, we're going. I'm gonna pick this one because I think it's kind of weirder and more difficult. Nope, I'm gonna go with this one. Dang. Okay. Am I the asshole for buying my son a Halloween costume? I, 34 female, and my husband, 35 male, have a 5-year-old son together. My husband was raised in a family where boys play with cars and girls with dolls. Son has a huge obsession with unicorns and asked if he could go as a unicorn for Halloween. My husband told him no, and he would take him shopping for a boy costume. I found one in his size and wrapped the costume up to surprise him. I gave it to him after school, and he immediately went to put it on. My husband looks at me and tells me that I am trying to change our son to be girly and should have bought him a Spider-Man or a Superman costume. This incident happened over the weekend, and husband is still fuming over it. Am I the asshole for buying my son a Halloween costume?
Wait, did this kid specifically ask to be?
A unicorn.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the dad told him no.
Okay, well,
And
I
the
mean,
mom did not respect his boundaries.
but she did buy.
A unicorn costume.
I'm
Anyway.
the worst listener. Sometimes I'll be these stories are happening and I'm just like, God, sorry.
Yes, the son requested a unicorn costume.
Yeah.
Dad said no, and that he would go get him a costume. Mom found one and bought it for him against the father's wishes.
Oh yeah,
And
Obviously.
the dad got mad.
yeah. Dad's
and
a dick.
she wants to know if she's the asshole.
The dad is always the asshole.
Yeah, that's true.
This is how you end up with children like the first story.
Yeah, right.
Their slut sister.
Exactly.
That is exactly it.
I'm like getting like actually heated because it's like triggering. Yeah, fuck that guy. Because that's how you get closeted gay kids who are way too afraid to, not assuming because this kid wants to be a unicorn that he's gay, but I kind of just made that assumption.
You did
Didn't-
a little bit.
I
but it's
did. I
okay.
did.
Maybe
But-
he is, dude. Who fucking
well,
knows?
exactly.
We're only making
We're-
assumptions.
Yeah,
here.
that's all I can do
Yeah,
is make
right.
assumptions. But
That's
like,
what this whole thing is about.
but whether he's just a more feminine guy or he's
He just likes I like fucking unicorns.
Yeah.
Dude's shit.
right,
I'm not like the most manly, masculine man ever, but
right. It's
still
the
straight
whole.
at least.
Well, right. It's the whole, him trying to pigeonhole his son into
Right.
gender roles, But yeah, I mean that's just a no all around because that's just gonna make that kid ashamed of whatever he's into.
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
anything, and he's gonna feel like his dad is
Judging
disappointed in him, and he's just gonna have all this deep shame and guilt, and that's why all of these stories just come back to deep-seated childhood fucked up things make these people assholes. That is gonna be
It also leads them to Reddit too,
And it
which
leads
is
them to
probably not
Reddit,
the
yeah.
best,
exactly.
And if they're on Reddit, they're definitely on 4chan, which is even worse,
Right. And that's how you end up calling your sister a slut.
Yep.
and refusing to invite her to Halloween parties.
Yeah.
and being secretly in love with her.
I feel really bad for this 5-year-old.
I do too.
Like, he's 5.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Let him be a unicorn.
Right.
What is wrong with you?
I think any dad that's like that is gay. Like, he's gay, and he's like, my son is not gonna.
He's not gonna be like me.
Yeah,
Right.
Because he's ashamed. Because deep down, he doesn't want
wants
to be
the
married
dick.
to his wife. Yeah,
He
he
wants
does.
the
He
dick.
wants the dick. He doesn't want to be married to that woman.
Why is
Is
the,
that
Gross.
34 female?
Gross.
why is the voice for like the misogynistic or like the closeted man always like a southern / like hillbilly type voice? You know, my boy.
My boy ain't wearing no goddamn unicorn costume.
My boy ain't dressing like no dang girl.
I mean, it just fits.
It does
just,
fit.
It
Yeah.
feels right.
It does feel.
I
right.
think I would not. And you gotta hear me out here.
Okay.
No unicorn costume. Okay. Horse. Okay. Let him wear a
Horses are
horse.
very
costume.
masculine.
Horse with a
dude.
cone.
Or it could even be a female horse. Here's my thing. We're not dressing up like something that isn't real. We're staying in the real world here, little boy. My son, my child.
It's Halloween.
You will be a horse for. I don't give a damn what holiday it is.
That wasn't
super
southern
Be a
enough.
horse.
That wasn't southern enough for me, Dave.
You will be a horse. You will be a horse for Halloween.
Girls are whores, boys are horses. That's the role
No,
in
this,
Halloween.
this guy is just obviously, clearly, like, this is one of the most blatantly cut and dry asshole scenarios
Right.
we've ever had on this show.
See, I'm gonna go beyond the guy, and I'm gonna blame, like the boomers and masculinity from the boomers, and homophobia and all of that stuff from like the atomic households that many of our parents are from, and their lack of acceptance of like people being allowed to like what they want to like and not being associated with sexuality or gender roles. So I'm just blaming old people. Yeah,
Right.
I think they're the assholes really because they've been. I mean, this guy's like not even that old. He's like our age, and he's like still afraid to let his son be a fucking unicorn, which is not
Right.
even like the like he's not asking
He's
to
not
be
asking
like
to be a Spice Girl.
or like a ballerina or like I don't know, like just any sort of woman or anything like that, which is also fine.
Yeah.
Right.
I've dressed up as a woman like a million times on Halloween.
Yeah.
And
That's true. You look pretty good.
oh, thanks.
Yeah,
but
like
still, like it's Halloween. It's a time to fantasize, like to kind of play a game and put on a costume and play a role, which I think is fun and important to creativity and development as
Yes.
a child to like be able to see what it's like to be this different role. And maybe the child should be dressed as a woman so his dad could show it the right way to treat a woman, which he probably wouldn't because he's an asshole and all of the old people made him that way, so it's their fault, you know. And that's what I'm going with. It's the boomers, it's the old people. They're fucked up. They ruined everything basically.
It's his ego over his son's happiness.
absolutely.
Maybe the dad's parents or sibling or something like that were just like viciously attacked by a Greek gang, you know.
By a Greek gang?
A Greek gang,
Okay.
you
What does that
know.
have to do with
Why Greek?
unicorns?
Why is it? Well, we're going all the way back to Pegasus here.
Oh,
And maybe he
okay.
has a thing against Greek people.
Pegasus
Oh.
had wings, though.
But he
Did
had
Pegasus
wings.
have a
Pegasus
horn?
didn't have
Yeah,
a horn.
I don't think
Pegasus had a horn.
Pegasus had
Pegasus
a
just
horn.
had wings.
Pegasus definitely
Yeah.
just had wings, Dave. But
Yeah.
But it
that
was
a
it
good,
was a,
that
it
was a good
But
try.
now I
though.
want hummus.
It
So
was a
thank you
No,
reach,
for
but
it was
good.
no. It's the start of this creation of these wackadoodle fucking fantasy horses.
When you just got Dave is
Well-
stuck on it being a real horse here.
It has to be a real horse.
Bullshit. There's real horses and they're fucking great. Why do we have to make horses more than what they are?
That's what I mean. Like, you put him in a horse costume with a little horse vagina. He could be a. He could be.
Why does a
He
horse
could be.
have to have a
He could be. He
vagina?
could be a female horse. That's nothing
I
wrong
don't think
with
it has
that.
anything to do with him wanting to dress up like a girl. I need to say I want to be a female unicorn.
Well, regardless,
But you see, you look at the.
So, do you think
the
that Dad
famous
would be
unicorns.
okay with it if the unicorn costume had like a giant set of balls on it?
I think that would probably go in an right
He would
direction.
be like, okay, that's okay then. It's a boy unicorn.
I
Everybody
also-
can see that.
I have a
could
question.
see that. Yeah.
My Little Ponies, are they unicorns?
They're ponies.
They're ponies.
Yeah, I
They don't
don't.
have horns though.
I don't think so.
I don't-
There,
yeah.
there might be like a couple of them, but
That
I feel
have-
like they're mostly ponies.
Okay, and a couple unicorns.
I
You're
feel
the
like-
one who should know the answer to
I
this.
know. I love My Little Ponies.
Oh, I was gonna
I've
say.
never watched My Little Pony
I
in my
can't remember.
life.
I feel like a couple of them have are unicorns, but not all of them.
I remember watching it because I watched the Bronies documentary, and I was like, okay, now I have to see what this is all about. And I was like, that is really aesthetically pleasing. And then I started watching it a little bit.
My
But-
Little Ponies taught me how to be a decent human being when I was like brand new in recovery.
Is that
Like all of,
Pegasus?
all of my
Is
good
that
morals and
Pegasus?
ethics basically come from
What-
My Little
what
Pony.
comes up
So
when you
I
look-
love that. That's really,
Right?
that's adorable.
It's a hybrid Pegasus unicorn. It's a celestial immortal horse.
Dave found a
Well,
picture
show-
of a Pegasus
show-
with a horn.
show
Pegasus
anyone
oh my
with a
god,
horn.
yeah. After searching for fucking
It was the first thing that. It was
10
the second.
minutes.
It was the third thing that popped up. First
Dave
off.
Googled Pegasus unicorn
and
that's what
found a
came up.
picture of one.
So-
impressive, Dave.
Which is funny because that's actually a dope band that used to be around in Erie called
nice.
Pegasus Unicorn.
That's
But anyways,
that's all I was going for was
Yeah.
plugging them.
I was.
Well, I would try to think. You know what? I'd be like, sit down, boy. Let's have a talk.
let's have a talk.
Let's have a talk. You wanna be a mythical horse creature? Let me interest you in a centaur costume.
You know, all these stories with, because this happens, I hear this a lot with, with men not wanting their sons to be, whatever, just toxic masculinity. And I feel like with any costume, whether it's your daughter wanting to dress in a horror costume or your son wanting to be a vagina horse, whatever the fuck Dave said. Like you should let your child be whatever the fuck they want to be on Halloween, unless, like, I'm trying to think of the most extreme circumstance.
Unless
if you're
they want to do like blackface.
Or
Right,
be like a
ex-
Nazi.
Or if they're 5 and are like, Dad, can I be a slutty unicorn?
right. Well, like even then, like I would ask questions like, "What do you mean by a slutty unicorn?" But like, yeah, exactly. If he's like, "I want to be Winnie the Pooh," and you're like, "Oh, that's so cute," and he's like, "Yeah, I want to wear a crop top and have my dick out and no pants on," like then you're like, "No, like
No,
that's
not that.
Yeah, you can't have your dick out on Halloween. But anything else. I just think it would have to be so fucking offensive for me to be like, no, you can't do that for Halloween. Like, it would really have to cross some
I feel like all
lines.
bets
Yeah.
are kind of off on Halloween.
But
Yeah.
if you're a centaur, check this out. I'm cool. By the way, everybody, the unicorn thing is cool. I'm alright with it. I'm just fucking around. Anyways, centaur. It could be a big costume. The little boy could be like the man part of it, and the dad can have him on his fucking shoulders the whole time. He could be the horse. That'd be a cute little way to family bond.
But he wants to be a unicorn. That's the point.
Yeah,
Is
Dave,
that he
let
wants?
this. Why are you so against this unicorn, Dave?
Because unicorns aren't real.
Davis is your
Neither
son.
is like half of the other things that anybody
centaur
dresses
is
up.
also not
yeah,
real.
exactly.
I don't think that can be proven.
Dave stands up. He's half horse.
I was gonna make. Never mind. No.
I see
Well,
where that was going.
so yeah, I'm still blaming with the old people,
Yeah.
the boomers. It's their
Right.
fault.
It's definitely the old people's fault. What's the etymology of a unicorn? Where do unicorns come from? Obviously
I
not Greece. I
actually-
was fucking denied
I
that.
actually know the answer to that question if you're interested.
Yes,
Yes.
please answer it.
So I can't remember exactly the time period. I want to say like 1600s ish. The Queen Victoria in England, they confused narwhals with unicorns, and like they saw narwhals and they tried to that got morphed into unicorns basically from narwhals, and then they ended up making that the crest for like the royal family for a time.
Wow.
They turned it into a unicorn, and then that is where it became popularized, is because the royal family used it on their crest.
So I think I would tell my boy, I'd sit him down, I'd go, look, I'd go, look, son, we're all about all kinds of inclusivity in this house, but unicorns are a symbol of imperialist British scum. And that is classism. You will dress as a horse
With a vagina.
with a vagina, and it will pass the same thing. We are common folk. You will not be above any other man. No unicorns. We're just regular old fucking Americans.
With horses, god damn it.
That's right.
It could be a wild Mustang.
Yes, Seabiscuit. You're gonna be Seabiscuit for Halloween.
Oh, this poor kid.
Celinda, who's the asshole?
I'm gonna say gender norms and also the dad are the assholes.
Okay, keeping it simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. I really want to say something else, but I completely agree.
Okay.
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, we got time for one more. This is the last one.
I really want to read this one because it made me laugh.
Okay.
Oh, this is okay. I don't know this, but you told me it was good.
Am I the asshole for going as grass to an early Halloween
Oh,
party?
yeah.
A few weeks ago, I, 31 male, was invited to my friend, 33 male, Will's early Halloween party. I had eagerly accepted the invite and was excited to celebrate because as a childless, single, 31-year-old man with no children or younger siblings, Halloween had managed to be one of those holidays that slipped through the cracks. A few days after the invite, though, Will informed me that the party was a costume party. I haven't been too surprised, though, because Will has a young son who is incredibly passionate about Halloween, yet doesn't feel that comfortable trick-or-treating. And because it really wouldn't be that difficult, I agreed to dress up. Now, here's where I think I may have went wrong.
Okay.
While I do love Halloween, I don't really have any costumes, which meant that my options were either to make something or to buy something to wear. And because I'm a cheapskate, I decided to just make my own costume. Unfortunately, though, the only things that I had that felt slightly costumey were a green shirt, green pants, a top hat, sunglasses, a white scarf, and one of those bead necklaces you get at parades. Being limited, I decided to reach into the deepest and darkest corners of my mind for a costume, and eventually I came up with a blade of grass costume. I was wearing the green pants, green shirts, shaded sunglasses, and the top hat, which I had covered with green construction paper. Then, for good measure, I went outside my house and massaged a little soil into the clothes. Then, yesterday, the party rolled around, and I came in my grass costume. I was a little embarrassed as the first three people I saw were wearing realistic demon costumes and stuff, and there I was as a dirt-wearing piece of grass. It gets so much better. It was all okay, though, until Will's son came out and started to cry. Now, when I said that Will's son was young, I meant that he's too young for kindergarten. So when he saw me and started to cry, I felt kind of at fault. Then, when Will saw me and tried to comfort his son, he asked what I was, and so I told him. Then Will told me that I knew how much his son loved Halloween, which I did, and when his son started to scream at the top of his lungs that I had ruined the party and I had gone as the wrong thing, he asked me why I thought that would be appropriate, as I had witnessed his son freak out over the smallest of things plenty of times before. So, was I the asshole for going as a blade of grass to a party?
What the fuck? Okay.
So this brings me back to like a very common trope amongst these, which is that the child is actually in fact the asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Why is he screaming?
Apparently
Was he
he's
assaulted?
He's afraid of the costume.
I mean, I guess if he did just look like...
He just
Well,
wore
no.
green and
He was
rubbed
just
mud on
wasn't
himself.
screaming at the demons.
No.
The
Right. He wasn't screaming at the realistic demons. He was screaming at the guy
who was just
dressed
dirty and green. just dirty green man.
dirty green man and a top hat.
At least it's a realistic costume.
Right. Blades of grass are real.
Blades of grass are real. Blades of grass are real. This kid was screaming. That was his way of reacting to the cringiness of the costume.
Right.
He's like, all these guys look so cool except for you.
Yeah, why don't you look cool, guy?
And I also just really like how the father of the young boy who was so afraid got mad at his friend. Like, you should have known my son was afraid of grass.
Yeah, like what the fuck, dude?
Why? I can't believe
You
you
seen him
did
freak out
this.
before? Like he does this all
You
the time.
should have known he was afraid of grass and the color green.
Yeah. What's his name? Wait, Will is the father?
Will is the
yeah.
friend. Yes.
Yeah, fuck Will. Dude, like I mean, I understand like some kids just have like weird fears. I mean, I'm like
I don't know if
I'm a
the child was
36-year-old
afraid.
one of
I feel
them.
like he was just mad that he wasn't a demon and he had
think
like
so,
a
too.
normal costume.
I think so
Right.
too. I think he was like, they sat down beforehand. Obviously, they pre-planned. They're like, "Hey, gang, hey, little bucko, you know, like, Daddy's friend is gonna get the most badass costume." He's like, "Yeah, Halloween's gonna be great. I know you love Halloween, kid. I'm gonna be so cool." And then he goes home and he's like, "Let's put some construction paper on this top hat and roll around outside for a little bit." That will be fucking mind blowing for this 4-year-old child. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen." And it didn't work out. It didn't work out.
You can't hit a home run every time.
I don't. It doesn't sound like this party was meant to be like a costume contest for this child
Right.
to judge.
Right.
It's not like he had to like win his approval to come to this party.
I
and
think
maybe
actually
he did.
that is exactly what
That
has
sounds like
happened.
what it was now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that was the impression I got
That was
about
when
going
he
to
got
it, but
the
apparently
invite.
that was the
Yeah.
the thing.
dressed to impress my child.
Right. Dressed to impress my child. Maybe he rolled around in dog shit by accident.
And
And
he
the kid was like,
smelled?
ah! Like it just smelled terrible.
Maybe.
And he was like, don't bring this poop man into my house. Like maybe
Yeah, what the
that's.
fuck, Dad?
Yeah.
This guy is obviously, if not currently doing it, he has done some acid or mushrooms in the past to come up with that grass costume. Because
Definitely under the influence. Of
definitely
psychedelics.
under the influence.
Yeah.
That sounds like something I would do after
Yeah.
taking a few hits. You know.
Well, when I
Right.
first read the title, because it says, "Am I the asshole for dressing up as grass?" I was like, did he dress up as like
a weed leaf,
bud or
right.
something? But
Oh,
no,
this
it
is my
just
pantomime for weed.
just a blade of grass.
Maybe is that like the new thing though? Like is Grass Man like the new Slender Man?
Oh,
Maybe.
You know,
maybe.
it could've been.
Maybe it's a weird internet.
This
meme
child's
we're not
also
aware
like 4
of.
years old though, so, or like not in kindergarten yet, so I don't think he's really trolling through.
I mean,
Yeah.
Creepypasta
young
to find
kids
out
have
if
their own
Grass Man
tablets and
exists.
shit now. You never know what they see on
Yeah,
the
but
internet.
are they reading?
They
No,
could be
but-
watching videos
They
on
could be
YouTube
watching videos.
Or-
of Grass Man.
Of Grass Man. Or you could have like one of those dumb cartoons that kids watch that are like on a farm and the villain is a fucking blade of grass, you know?
Maybe he just doesn't like grass. Maybe he like laid in grass one time and got real itchy.
Maybe he
and
gets
was
like hay
"Fuck
fever.
Grass. Yeah.
Maybe he's allergic to grass.
I
Maybe.
actually had well, it wasn't a fear of grass, but I remember being like really little, like that age, and being outside and my dad mowing the lawn. And he would always hit rocks, and then they would hit me in the leg or the face. It would hurt really bad. So I guess this is more fear of lawnmowers. This does not apply. Abort story. But where was I going with this?
Maybe that's the same thing though. Maybe he's afraid of lawnmowers and he saw this guy who's a grass and he's
Yeah,
like,
he
"Oh
just
fuck, you're gonna have to
associates
cut
that.
him and it's gonna
Yeah.
He
hurt."
was triggered.
Maybe it's the one person, this kid's the one person out of all these stories that is actually in therapy, and his therapist has associated grass with like a negative feeling, and then Will's buddy comes in like this big old fucking piece of realistic grass that's bigger than...
I don't know how we can call that realistic
Yeah, a top
at
hat.
all.
Well, you haven't seen it. You haven't
Green,
seen
he
it.
said he's wearing green pants, green shirt, and a top hat with construction paper.
Well,
This
you-
is not. It's not
That's
very
not a
realistic.
Piece of grass.
I mean, he put soil
He
on
rubbed
himself.
dirt on himself.
I don't know. Some people are creative. If he gets a nice little blade at the top there, but they paint his face green.
It
No.
doesn't sound like it.
Oh, well then you
doesn't
can't
sound
really
like
believe
it.
he's a piece of grass if he's not all
No.
green.
Maybe he was just afraid because, like in cartoons and stuff, when people get sick, they turn green. So they thought he thought this guy was like real sick and gonna throw up on him or die or whatever.
Maybe.
And then he was just afraid for his life, and that's why he burst into tears and freak out. But I don't want to overlook the fact that this child just does this. Like apparently,
Right.
it's known that this child just fucking freaks the heck out.
Yeah.
And loses his mind from time to time over little things, and is probably catered to and spoiled by his
And
parents.
all the adults around around this child need to be aware of everything he's going to freak out about.
I think
Not
I
I
triggering
should
him.
know that grass is obviously going to freak out my child.
Obviously, grass is super scary.
I think that we have a lot to say about society. The fact that this child's at an obvious adult party with super like realistic demons walking around, and he gets to scream out of a piece of shitty grass.
Which is, I'm going to get real dark here for a second, because this is always where my brain goes. So all these scary creatures are showing up, this kid's fine. Then this man just comes in a dumbass costume, not even
green.
a costume, he's just
wearing
fucking
a green
green.
shirt and
Just a
green
green
pants.
man.
Yeah.
And he screams. Maybe because I've watched way too many episodes of Law and Order SVU, but I'm starting to think maybe he's like the neighborhood predator that nobody knows except that little boy knows because he's been a victim.
Maybe.
And he's screaming because this guy is like sitting outside his playground at school and like
Watching him?
He's watching him in green. And
Dresses in green so nobody sees him.
Exactly. He's camouflaging, and then he's like, no, the playground man's at my party. You know, like
It might not even be him. He could just like be associating the green ghillie suit guy
Yeah.
with this
With
man.
him,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it sounds like they had like a team plan, and like Will sat down with his friend, with his kid there, like, yo, daddy's friend's gonna do this. Unless this guy only does his predatorizing with his green construction top hat, and he didn't recognize
He needs
until
to
he
blend
had
in,
that
Dave.
on.
Yeah.
He needs to blend in.
High level.
The police are at the playground. They're like, we don't see any predators. That's a long blade of grass, so the groundskeeper really needs to get fucking
cut
on
that.
that.
Yeah,
Where's
what
the
an
weed
idiot.
whacker at?
Jeez.
Jesus Christ, that's a realistic piece of grass over there.
You're
just keep
stuck on
thinking of
this guy
Charlie
being
Day.
like super realistic blade of grass, which I do not feel like is the case here.
yeah.
I'm
I think
just-
this guy did something in real life, not on Halloween, to scare this kid, and this kid is just scared of this dude.
Probably.
I think that is.
Or
What happened?
or like Tony was saying, someone in green had done something to him before.
Right.
He
Yeah.
associates
guy.
that color. Mm-hmm. I think that might be the case, but I'm not here to determine why this child
That's
is
true.
doing what is doing. We're here to determine
Is this guy the asshole?
is this guy the asshole? I feel like absolutely fucking not.
Oh no!
No.
For
Oh no!
wearing a green.
No, it's
piece
funny
of
as
grass.
shit.
Did his best.
Yeah, this guy's fucking actually an OG gangster. Fucking
If I was at a
Halloween
Halloween
costume?
costume party and there were like a bunch of people dressed up super realistically, and then I just saw one dude in a green outfit with a construction paper on his head,
and he
I
tells
would
me
go,
he's a piece of grass.
I would go talk to that guy. I'd
Right.
be like, yo,
What?
bro, what is up? I love your vibe.
I don't even know. I don't think I would be able to tell he was a blade of grass. But once
Yeah.
he told me he was a blade of grass, I
I'd
would
be
have
like,
like
best costume
so
here.
much respect. Like, fuck yeah, dude.
I'm-
You killed it.
Yeah.
I might
I
do
love
that
this.
year.
This kid could just be like a young prodigy, like a young Versace though, and that's why he's
He's
screaming
has
because the
offended his
costume's so
sensibilities.
bad. He's like, you fucking scum, get out of here. Also, you guys remember the paperclip dude from like Windows 95?
Yeah.
That's how I'm imagining this guy, but as a blade of grass. You know, but not
Just like
looking
a
like, the
cartoon
paper.
blade.
Just like his eyes are popping. He's just a fucking
Oh.
perfect blade of grass, you know? And he might just be a figment of Will's imagination. He's writing this story
Maybe.
in the vein of his friend. Either way, I think this kid is just a pretentious little prick
Wow.
who's just really he's screaming at the pores again.
He
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Oh.
You're
Sorry,
right.
I didn't have $1,000 to spend on a realistic demon costume,
Yep.
and I did my best from some Salval green clothes that I bought and a top hat.
Will raising those.
Those pretentious,
Yeah.
entitled
Yep,
children.
Yep.
Yeah.
I bet you they live in
A
like
gated
gated
community. Was that mentioned in the story by any chance? Where they live? I want to know what level of pretentious are we talking
Yeah.
here?
Well, there's realistic demons walking around your party, so
Right. Honestly, they have to be rich.
Yeah, that's true.
they at least are associate with other rich people, and
Yeah.
like rich people don't hang out with pores.
They don't.
You know?
Yeah.
They don't.
Right. He was embarrassed. I don't think he was predatorized.
I think the child was embarrassed. The child was embarrassed and ashamed that such a shitty
Yeah,
costume.
that there was a pour in his house.
Yeah.
He was deeply offended that his father would invite a pour
Yeah.
into their home.
Dad, you
It's gonna
didn't-
taint their house.
Yeah.
Dad, you didn't-
Especially
That
when
does
it's
make more
dirty.
sense.
This one's covered
Yeah.
in fucking
He's covered
dirt.
in
Yeah.
dirt.
Yeah.
He looks like a homeless person.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Dad, you didn't tell me your buddy was a fucking
Poor. How dare you?
Man, there is a lot of classes in Halloween,
yeah.
man.
We're not. I don't want to backtrack, but why do you think I was so upset about Pegasus? Or not Pegasus, Unicorn?
Because it's classist.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's classist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though we'll just ignore that you didn't even know that until Celinda told us where the Pegasus stemmed from and what they became.
Unicorn.
It's a
Unicorn,
unicorn.
yeah.
Unicorn
Sometimes
came from.
you hear like a tidbit of information and you store it, but it's like deep in your subconscious and you don't remember why you hate it until somebody tells you that Queen
So you
Victoria
knew
put it on
that
an
story, you
emblem.
just forgot. You know.
I
That's
mean,
really
it's
great.
certainly possible because I'm all about people living their lives and, doing whatever they want to do, but that fucking unicorn thing really bothered me.
I see
here-
that.
Yeah, neither here nor there. Yeah, I bet he had a little fucking emblem unicorn patch on his shirt as he was screaming at this poor man who was trying the best to make his Halloween a good experience. Little jerk.
Just trying to have fun and party.
Oh yeah, that was a difference. I got mixed up in different
So,
stories. Oh yeah.
Celinda, who's the asshole?
The child.
The child.
I'm finally gonna go with the child, like I
child.
normally do. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't choose a child in any other stories.
Yeah, I went dark, but then once you guys said some other things, I think those are a little bit more realistic than where I was going with that. Even though,
I think it's still a possibility this guy's traumatized by somebody in green in his
Right.
life.
right,
just associates
might not
that
be
with this
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't assume that man is a predator. But
Just predators are known to wear green.
Right.
Like,
maybe that's.
as
I
much
wear,
as any
I wear a
other
lot of
color.
green. I don't want to say that. But yeah, I think that kid was mad that a poor was there. Yep, I think I'm with you guys on that one.
Child's the asshole.
Yep.
Well, fine work, everybody. We've let
We
the
did a
people
great
know
job.
again.
Do you guys
Who-
also think the child's the asshole?
Oh, yeah,
No,
we
I-
did.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't
Oh, yeah.
say.
I do.
I decided. I don't remember who I said was the asshole.
You
I
didn't
thought-
say anybody
I didn't
yet.
say anybody.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with those demons are the asshole because they fuck. How is anybody supposed to compete with realistic demons walking
true.
around a Halloween party? Like, what the fuck is their problem?
Yeah,
They're
was it
going
a
in there.
contest?
They spent like
It's just a
thousands of
costume
dollars.
party.
They probably got like people to come in and special do their makeup and bought all these like claws and fucking steroids so they could get all muscly like a demon and shit.
They really
They're
committed
jacked
to
out of
this.
their mind over the past 3 months shooting juice and hiring people to paint their bodies so they're all
Special
fucking
effects artists and
yeah,
shit.
thousands and thousands of dollars
Prosthetics.
to show up. They learned how to walk on stilts, so they're like 8 feet tall and their legs look weird and shit. And how is anybody ever supposed to compete with that? Obviously, the child's gonna be super pumped when there's real demons, and then some shithead that's dirty comes inside. You're gonna freak the fuck out. So yeah, demons, fuck you. They're the asshole.
Yeah, they set the bar way too high. Grassman didn't stand a chance.
That's
He
my.
was doing his best as a poor.
He was doing his best, and I respect him.
I love that the beginning of the story was like, I didn't have a costume. I'd have to come up with one. It's like, who the fuck just has costumes?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
just
I
like,
mean-
well, let me go in my costume closet. Like,
Look at all of us here today.
That's true.
Everybody has costumes, Colleen.
well, I mean,
That was a bad point. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, but unlike Grassman, we all have friends.
Yeah,
So
Grassman
we've
probably
been
did not.
invited
does
to
Grassman
parties.
not have friends? I
That's
thought
probably
Will
He
what-
was
has
his
at
friend.
least
feel like
one friend.
You thought
well, not
Will,
anymore.
you thought
probably
Will
now.
was his friend, but it was
Yeah.
actually like an Ebenezer Scrooge type situation.
Or like a
It
work
was a
friend that he
pity
has to
invite. Pity
invite.
invite.
Yeah.
He's like Tiny Tim.
I think that's the real thing is that people with friends have costumes because they get invited to Halloween parties, and
true.
people without friends don't
Don't
have
have
costumes because they don't have any
And they
Halloween
have to
parties.
go roll around in the dirt in their only green shirt that they own.
Buy a top hat.
And buy a top hat and some construction paper. That's why you don't have friends, Grassman.
With the way that costume came out, it sounds like he already had a top hat.
Yeah, he did already have the
He's
top
like
hat.
that one guy that never shows up for any event, but when he does, he's like the funnest fucking person there. You just like take the time. Those are the people that I like actually secretly look for.
Right.
Like at parties, I'm like, oh, this dude looks fucking like he does not. He's weird as fuck. I'm gonna spend my whole time getting to know this dude because I bet he's really weird and really interesting. And that's what I like.
I know we're running out of time or we're out of time, but this is the last thing I want to say personally. You don't have costumes, but you got a top hat. What are you doing with the top hat? I think what
Maybe
you're
he's
saying,
an opera fan.
Maybe he's an what?
You wear the top hat to the opera, Dave.
the bowler?
He's a
Obviously,
whore.
you've never
doesn't
been to
go
an
to the
opera before.
opera.
Maybe in Britain you do that and go to the horse
Yeah,
races
because you've been to
afterwards.
so many operas, you would
It's
know.
all about the horses.
I feel like anyone at this table has been to an opera, it's Dave. To be honest.
Wow. Thanks, babe.
I know you haven't been to an opera.
But if I did,
You would wear a top
you
hat.
better believe I'm wearing a top hat. At least I know that. I'm still like from the trailer park and poor, but at least I know.
Maybe only
to
poor
wear-
people actually think you wear top hats to the opera, though.
Fuck.
You know what I mean?
God damn.
That might be it.
Two truths and a lie. I own a top hat. I've been to the opera. I've killed 17 people since 2006.
We'll leave that for everybody to decide. Thank you all
Yeah.
for tuning in today. Have a very happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
We love you.